let's talk about red flags in relationships. Now, there are a lot of red flags, and not everyone's red flags are the same, but there are some common red flags that kind of go across the board for everybody. The first red flag you want to look out for is poor communication. If the person you're talking to cannot communicate with you effectively, that's a red flag. Now, when I say poor communication, I mean someone who doesn't want to talk about feelings, someone who doesn't want to talk about issues, someone who doesn't want to talk to you in general about regular stuff, like just things you like or things you don't like, someone who's just not willing just to talk and you kind of just sit around, that's bad communication. Someone who does not tell you what's going on in their lives and keeps you out the loop, that's poor communication. Someone you can't get in contact with if you need them, is poor communication. A lot of examples of poor communication. Another red flag is a controlling behavior. If you're a control freak, it's a red flag. And some people don't admit to being control freaks, but if you get upset because you don't get your way, that's a red flag. If you can't function, if something's not to your liking, it's a red flag. If you don't let your significant other go out and do certain things, whether that's with their friends or on their own or whatever, and you have to be a part of it, or you don't want them to do it a specific way, that's a red flag. You got to give people their space. Another red flag, this is a big one, jealousy. Jealousy is a big red flag. This one's really hard to talk about because jealousy comes in a whole bunch of ways. You could be jealous that your significant other is hanging out with their friend and you're jealous of their time together. You could be jealous that your significant other's giving the opposite gender some, or maybe not even opposite gender, they're just giving somebody else more attention. Or you're jealous that it is the opposite gender and you just don't like the way that they're talking to them. Even if they're not talking to them in a romantic way, you could just be jealous because I don't even know why. A lot of people get jealous just when they see their significant other just being with somebody else. They get jealous when you mention another person. So I'm a heterosexual male. So in my case, if my girlfriend, she doesn't get jealous, but say she did get jealous and she would get jealous at me talking to other girls, that's a red flag. And I get it, if I'm talking to other girls, I'm doing something to disrupt our relationship, or I'm doing something that's going to harm our relationship, I'm flirting with other girls, now that's a red flag on my part. I'm talking to a coworker who just happens to be a girl. I don't find her attractive. I'm literally just talking to her because I work with the person. There's no reason to be jealous. If I'm friends with a girl and there's no sign of a spark or anything, it's just, we're just talking, everyone's going to get jealous. That's part of life. You're going to get jealous. But there is excessive jealousy. And excessive jealousy is when you let that jealousy get the better of you and you let it start affecting your thinking and your mindset, and you start attacking your significant other. So you start calling them out on stuff that honestly has nothing to do with the situation. You're just trying to hurt them because you feel hurt because you're jealous. It's really important for you to control your emotion. Just like I was talking about in my other videos. You need to sit down, take some time, really think about your emotions and feelings and actually try to understand what you're actually feeling, because you could really be misunderstanding your own feelings and you're taking out your emotions on your partner in a bad way that's not going to be healthy for your relationship. Another red flag is being isolated from the people who support you. So maybe your friends or your family, and maybe your significant other is that type of person who does not like you hanging out with other people and they want you to themselves all the time. That's a red flag. You should be able to go out, hang out with your friends, hang out with your family, and it should be okay. You should be able to be separated and still be fine. If you can't be alone within your relationship and you can't be by yourself, that's a problem. That's a red flag. Now, all these red flags aren't deal breakers. They're just red flags. And every relationship probably has a red flag or two, but depending on the severity of the red flag determines whether you really need to look at your relationship and see if you really have some issues you need to work out. Not all red flags lead to breaking up. There are a lot of red flags that, honestly, all the red flags we just talked about can be fixed and they can improve. So just because there are red flags doesn't mean you need to break up with someone, but they are red flags. So if there's too many, you might need to consider your options and maybe you need to separate from whoever you're with, or at least take some time to figure out your feelings and see if time can heal your wounds. We want to talk about specific red flags that I personally believe. I can make a video for that, but this is just a common general thing. But we could talk about red flags. I think, actually, I'm not even going to speak on that. We'll say that for another video.